If dolls could talk. I was born in 1993, a dreaded and deadly year. A year full of loss and pain, that is my birth year. I was born as a result of love that exists, a love between an aunt and her niece, which made my existence full of peace. Full of peace during these deadly years, my new home was in the hands of a 10-year-old Bosnian refugee.
That 10-year-old refugee was me. Allow me to tell you my story in 10 minutes. Allow me to tell you the story of Bosnia, the land of pristine rivers, beautiful, absolutely beautiful mountains, the land of rich customs, and trust me when I tell you, incredibly delicious food. But also, to many of us from Bosnia, unfortunately, the land of blood and pain. My journey starts in the early 1980s when I was born in a small city in central Bosnia. My life before war, it was simple, it was beautiful, it was safe and predictable, just like many, many childhoods around the globe. My experiences and my memories were filled with positive birthdays and holidays and family gatherings. As a little child, I too had dreams, many, many dreams. Amongst many things that war has taken away from me, it has taken away many of my dreams. I remember sitting in school in second grade before war started in Bosnia and thinking, I love being in school. I love learning. That day, our teacher sent us back home because it was not safe to stay in school. We could hear grenades in the nearby distance. I did not know at the time that this would be the last time that I would share space with those very people and that I would share space with that very teacher. My family left abruptly several days after that, and we escaped to a nearby country, our neighbor country, called Croatia. This was the first time that we called ourselves refugees. This was the first time that we knew or felt what it was like to be a refugee. We had nothing, absolutely nothing, but we had each other. We had safety, which is what most people back home in Bosnia didn't have. Life in Croatia was hard, to say the least, but at least there was some sense of familiarity because Croatia shares a lot of its customs and foods with Bosnia, so at least there was that sense of similarity. We were in Croatia for about 8 months, and during this time, many different things happened. Amongst one of the things that I want to share with you is that during this time, my aunt, who was still in Bosnia at the time, had managed to smuggle my doll with a convoy of refugees that came to Croatia. I remember the day that this doll arrived to me. I remember thinking, this is the only normal piece of childhood that I have left. At that time, this was the only toy that I had. My family, once again, had to leave as we were given 24 hours to evacuate, to literally leave Croatia as conflict arose between Bosnian and Croatian government. At that time, we were literally loaded onto buses to go to a land that I always say is so far away, land called Pakistan. I remember being at the buses with my mom and dad and my brother and just feeling a sense of fear, uncertainty. We did not know what to expect. We didn't know where we were going. But again, we had each other and we were safe. We arrived at the airport where the crowd was even larger. People were even more afraid. Children were screaming, they were running. People didn't know what to expect. They put us on an airplane. There was 375 of us on a plane that probably carries 200 people. As you can imagine, people were sitting on each other's laps. Again, children were crying, mothers were crying, and fathers were crying because they didn't know where and what was awaiting them. And we took off to Pakistan. Where is Pakistan? When we landed in Pakistan, the first thing and the thing that I remember best is the heat. It was March, and it was already 90 degrees. There were so many people at the airport. There was representatives from the Bosnian embassy waiting there for us to take us to a refugee camp. As we loaded the buses once again, We headed to a small city, town, that is where our refugee camp was situated. Experiences in Pakistan, oh my goodness. To put it in perspective and in 10 minutes, I can't even begin to do that. When we arrived, we didn't know what to expect. We were placed in a room that is about half the size of this theater. There was 4 other families in this room. We were placed there to sleep and eat. This was our new home with literally nothing. But again, we had each other and we had safety, which is much more than people in Bosnia had at that time. We were surrounded by walls, so we couldn't freely move in and out. Every time we wanted to leave the camp, we had to be accompanied by police escort. But I went to school. I learned English. Again, I had some sort of normalcy, some sort of normal childhood, which is much more than kids in Bosnia had. During my time in Pakistan, there's many positive things that I can share with you and many negative things. The one that I chose to share with you is the one that inspired me the most. During this time, I met my first American scholar, a woman by the name of Julie. She had arrived to Pakistan with a couple of other people to collect information on Bosnian refugees. She was writing a book on experiences of Bosnian refugees in Pakistan. This picture that's behind me was actually taken by Julie. That's a picture of my family and some of their friends. I remember as a little girl sitting next to her and thinking, to be so powerful, to be so educated, and to care so much about people who often feel like they have no voice. Because to be a refugee, you can't imagine that such negative things can take place on this planet. And you can't wrap your head around the fact that it's happening and the world is not doing anything about it. That's what it feels like. And that's when I said to myself, I too want to be like Julie. I too want to get an education. I too want to be able to give a voice to those who feel like they have lost it, to those who feel like something or somebody has taken it away from them. Little did I know at the time that I would end up in the United States of America. My family had many other options in terms of relocation. We could have gone to Germany. We could have gone to Canada. My family thought that it would be best for us to be in the United States in terms of opportunities. We also already had family here, so that helped with our relocation process. My family arrived here in 1995, so we have been here for 22 years. And it has not been an easy road. Just like many refugees and immigrants, we too face our daily challenges. I was once again faced with a new education system. Yet another school, yet another continent. Language was a barrier. Learning the system was a barrier. Everything was a barrier. But again, I had a desk. I had a book. I could go to school, which is more than we can say for so many kids back home in Bosnia or even anywhere else around the world. So living in the United States has not been easy, but I have managed, like many other refugees and immigrants, to accomplish quite a bit. In 2007, I married the love of my life, who's somewhere in here. And in 2014, I conferred my doctorate degree in psychology. This was a big deal. Thank you so much. This is a big deal for me, obviously, and for my family. This gives me a formal voice to give to those who don't have one or feel that they don't have one. This gives me the power to research, and this gives me the power to share and spread knowledge in areas that are often forgotten. So this meant a lot to me and continues to mean a lot to me and to my family. Then in 2015, I became a mother to a beautiful baby girl who is now the owner of my doll. To her, it's a boy. To me, it was a girl. And through this journey, I hope to teach my daughter things that war has taught me. Amongst many things that I have lost, I have also learned a couple of things, to say the least. It has made me who I am, it has taught me how to love. It's taught me how to hate. It's taught me to appreciate. And most importantly, and what I hope to leave with you tonight here, it has taught me to inspire. It has taught me that you never know who you're going to inspire. You never know whose day you're going to change by giving them just something as simple as a smile. Julie did this for me 20 years ago. Thank you so much.